I like the comment on your status. Wow, you officially hit an all-time low.
Well, also, Lewis, I found somebody you have to rip on.
Who?
Lord Stephen Christ. I'm sorry, I just had to bring it up.
Strife.
I'm sorry, he just.
I have to jump in there. Strife, like, I know it's like kind of fun to take the piss out of a guy who is trying to start a cult and believes himself to be Christ, but it doesn't do anything. It's not becoming at all. It's getting to be.
The dude legitimately thinks he's Christ?
Yeah, but the thing is, like, this has gone so far to where he's trying to take out police orders on people because people won't stop calling his house and things. The guy is.
Oh, that is a little out of hand.
The guy projects hatred, but he knows that, and he's never going to change. I don't think it's even worth spending any ounce of intellectualism on him. Like, I don't understand why, and yet I'm still talking about him. I just don't think he's part of dialogue anymore. I don't want him to be.
Who's that one random?
Okay, that was James Carey. They're on the Lying Ghost Show. And what it is predominantly a consortium of atheists. Maybe there's one Christian that comes on to have a little debate. But what I've noticed with these online debates amongst atheists is that I question their motivation. And I do believe that they are motivated to educate people, or actually to indoctrinate people, to get them to not believe in God. And albeit my understanding of what God is, or who God is not what the general fundamental Christian concept of God, this person being all-knowing and all-powerful and all-present, omnipresent as well. What I'm saying is that God is just a man. He's limited. He doesn't have the powers. He doesn't have these supernatural abilities that most Christians or theists attribute to God. And what I do is I question the motivation with atheists. And I also question why. Why do they get together and talk? What is their desire? What is their motivation? Is it to get somebody to lose their faith in God? And if so, what is the alternative? Reason and logic. Reason and logic, which is actually bent on man's interpretation of reason and logic, that is derived erroneously from misunderstandings of science, misunderstandings of the universe. And this James Carey dude who says that I'm generating hatred. However, I haven't seen one of these people here do an unbiased, objective analysis to study what I'm saying, what my message is for humanity. My message is for humanity is that there is going to be a cataclysmic decimation of the entire earth. So, the fruit of my message has yet to be determined. However, the problem is that these people have already dismissed me. They haven't looked at me. They haven't been objective. They're already biased. They've already decided that I'm not worth listening to. Yet, what if I'm right? What if my message is going to save millions, hundreds of millions of people? Wouldn't they want to help me disseminate my message to humanity? That the ice is going to fall down, the sun's going to stop, it's going to burn the earth, and we need to take cover in deep underground military bases for safety and shelter. They're not being objective. And I see the fruit of these discussions amongst atheists. It generates apathy. And what they do is they question the morality of religious people, morality of the characteristics of God derived from the scriptures. And they say, well, they have a much higher moral framework than this so-called God person, or these Christians. You know, they'll point out the wars that Christians started over the centuries. And is it morally right to reject me? Is it morally right to reject that I possibly could be saving hundreds of millions of people's lives, and these people won't even help me, won't even objectively consider that notion because I say I'm Christ? There's like a stumbling block. They've already dismissed me. Yet won't they feel ashamed of themselves if I am proven right and the ice does fall down and martial law is imposed? That they didn't help me spread the message? Talk about morality. Is it moral to make fun of me and ridicule me? Is that moral? I don't think so. So I question, I call out their hypocrisy. It's so blatantly evident to me. There are people that believe me, and it will help me spread my message to humanity. However, these people have already predisposed of the notion of God. And it has to do with their hearts. Their hearts have rejected it. They think that this is the way to do it. And they don't realize that their goals are to exalt themselves, to have this kind of this contest amongst who can come off as the most intelligent. And it generates apathy. And so you really need to look at yourselves, look at your hearts. If you want to be considered morally right, I've presented to you a message. And if you're going to dispose of it without objectively looking at it, that's being immoral, that's being silly, that's being foolish. Because you have the possibility, the potential to help me save millions of lives. Millions of lives. Don't make the foolish mistake of rejecting me. I think there's a couple. The Red Line, I'm thinking about Red Line. You know, he has a potential of understanding. But it takes time. It takes time. It's not an intelligence thing. It's just a matter of your heart. Doing what's right. Doing what's morally right. And if somebody presents you with a possibility to objectively consider that, despite how weird and strange and silly and crazy it seems, think about the neo-atheist too, Michael Phelps, and James Carey. James Carey, he's operating out of a lot of emotion. A lot of emotion. He keeps saying that I'm spreading hatred. But I see the hatred in him toward me. It's so evident. So, look at yourselves. Do what's right. Do what's morally right. I want to talk about morality. Do what's morally right. And erase any preconceived notion of me just because I'm claiming to be Christ or God. If destruction was coming, if it was coming, wouldn't you want to do something to help people, to save people's lives? Don't ignore the fact that chunks of ice have been falling down from the sky, and that media has been suppressing that information. Look at things objectively. seriously consider when I tell you that we are living on the inside concave edge of Earth, and the universe is contained within that edge. Look at my seismic data video where I show you how there's actually a metal rind to the Earth. Seismic data proves that. Be objective. Please be objective, atheists that I have been communicating with. You are given the responsibility toward humanity to objectively consider my message without bias. Please do that. Thank you.